Zurich is a formidable and complex character in the world of ninjutsu, known as a resurrected dragon tyrant who once ruled the nation of Kotora with an iron fist. In his past life, Zurich was a powerful general in the Kotora army, long before the existence of ninjas. After a mission that went awry and left him for dead, Zurich obtained the power of the Dragon of Vengeance, which he used to avenge his fallen comrades and secure victory in a war for his nation. Driven by ambition and a thirst for power, Zurich's triumph on the battlefield was not enough for him. Unsatisfied with sharing authority, he sought to dominate the nations and establish himself as the ultimate ruler. His hunger for control and dominance led him to become a tyrant, imposing his will through fear and force. Demigra, the Dragon King. Demigra is a renowned figure known as the Dragon King, not due to his physical form, but because he possesses the extraordinary power of the Dragon of Vengeance. He achieved his status by besting Zurich, the Dragon Lord, in a fateful battle at a young age, claiming his throne and absorbing his formidable powers. Despite his origins, Demigra ruled with a peaceful demeanor, earning the admiration and loyalty of his people through his wise governance and benevolent leadership. Within his lineage, Demigra bore two sons, Prince Tori and Zito, during his prosperous reign. In a clandestine act of manipulation, he covertly divided the power of the dragon, of vengeance between the two brothers at birth, concealing this secret from both his kingdom and his unsuspecting sons for many years. When the hidden truth regarding the power division came to light, the kingdom turned against Demigra, interpreting his actions as treacherous and deceitful. Faced with a rebellion orchestrated by his own subjects, Demigra chose to safeguard his sons by sealing them away, trusting that their shared powers would one day serve a greater purpose. In a final act of selflessness, Demigra met his end while shielding his sons from the uprising, cementing his legacy as a tragic figure in the realm's history. Despite his demise, Demigra's sacrifice ensured the preservation of his son's potential, guaranteeing that the latent powers of the Dragon of Vengeance would one day emerge to shape the destiny of the world. Prince Tori. Prince Tori is the son of the once revered Dragon King Demigra, who sealed him away following a kingdom-wide uprising that led to his father's downfall. Years later, Tori was discovered by Zurich, a figure rumored to be deceased, who enticed him with promises of reviving his lost family members in exchange for his assistance in reclaiming power over the nations of Kotora and Ainra. Pre-Ninja Grounds Timeline. Prior to the events of Ninja Grounds, the world was embroiled in a fierce conflict between two nations, Kotora and Ainra. The war reached a critical point when General Zurich of the Kotora army, on the brink of death, inherited a divine power known as the Dragon of Vengeance. This power, embodied in a spirited dragon, not only granted him ominous strength, but also significantly increased his life force. With the might of the Dragon of Vengeance, Zurich turned the tide of battle, securing victory for Kotora. However, the immense power corrupted Zurich, transforming him into a tyrannical dictator. He seized control over both Kotora and Ainra, ruling with an iron fist for thousands of years. It wasn't until Demigra, an orphan bearing the scars of Zurich's cruelty, rose up against the dictator. After intense training, Demigra defeated Zurich, claiming the power of the Dragon of Vengeance for himself. Under Demigra's rule, peace was restored to both lands, and he became known as Demigra, the Dragon King. Demigra fathered 2 sons, Torai and Zito, and unbeknownst to anyone, he divided the divine power of the Dragon of Vengeance between them at their birth. Meanwhile, fearing the possibility of another tyrant like Zurich, factions within the nations began secret experiments aimed at creating a weapon to neutralize Demigra should he turn evil. These experiments involved human subjects and led to the discovery of E-cells, or elemental cells, which granted individuals the power to control elements such as earth, water, wind, fire, and in rare cases, shadow and light. The experiments culminated in the creation of an artificial being named Amian, who had the ability to control the main elements but lacked consciousness or self-awareness. Amian's accidental release resulted in chaos across the kingdoms. With Demigra absent, Princes Torai and Zito stepped up to confront Amian. It was during this battle that the power of the dragon of vengeance within them was revealed to themselves and to the public. The people, while grateful for the prince's heroism, harbored distrust and fear towards the immense power bestowed upon them. A coup was orchestrated with the goal of overthrowing Demigra and restoring sovereignty to the nation's governments. The coup was partially successful. Demigra managed to seal away his sons, believing they might be needed in the future, and perished in the process. Katora and Enira once again became separate entities and enacted a ban on individuals with supernatural abilities. Many of the innocents who were experimented on and possessed these cells were executed, while the survivors went into hiding, concealing their powers. Amidst this turmoil, Nage, a refugee from Enira, sought refuge in Katora. He secretly carried the E-cell trait and was able to pass through screenings undetected. An incident forced Najai to use his powers in public, and although he thought he went unnoticed, a high-ranking Katora official witnessed his abilities. In a twist of fate, instead of exposing Nage, the official recruited him for covert operations, thus making Nage the first ninja. His successful missions, particularly one that saved Katora, led to a re-evaluation of individuals with E-cells. Eventually, these individuals were integrated into the military forces of various nations to perform tasks benefiting their respective countries, giving rise to the ninja system depicted in Ninja Grounds.